don't broadcast it yet. You can end the event. It says I'm connecting. Oh, hi. Hi, Vymartfam. How are you? We nearly had a technical situation going on today, but we're smarter than technology. Say amen to that, because I'm about to just get on Instagram live at the same time for a short minute. So give me 2 seconds. Yeah. It's about to go down. Is anybody ready for it to go down? Because I am. Oh dear. So let us set up Instagram for a short minute. Dear Instagrammers, we are going to go live for a hot minute so that you all can come on YouTube. So hi Instagrammers, if you can see me, if you can hear me, say hello. Oops, don't fall down. Don't fall down. Now is not the time to fall down on me, okay? Okay, hi Vymartfam, how are you, darling? How's your day been? Congratulations on 1,000 subscribers. No be beans. Like, it's not a beans. I'm not even going to lie. That is so impressive. I remember when I checked your channel and you were on 600 or maybe even 5. I think that was when we connected. And I was like, oh, wow. And then I remember the first time I checked your channel, I literally binge watched all your videos. And that's what I do. When I meet somebody that I like, I go and watch all their videos because I feel like that's a quick way to know them. That's my shortcut to knowing people. So, yeah. So I went and I binge watched and I've been watching your journey. Really impressed. Well done. Well done for all the hard work. YouTube, no be beans, but you've done it. You're making it work. So I'm proud of you. Now, today we're going to be talking about, a topic that was requested, a topic that I'm interested as well. I would not have brought it for us to discuss it. So I am also interested. So it's requested and I'm also interested. So we're talking about it on my YouTube channel today. Hey, Anisha, darling, how are you? How are you doing, girl? We're on YouTube. Click the link on my bio and join us on YouTube. We are talking about all things African girls today. And what I did this morning was I asked the question, let me balance today. Oh, thank you, hon. Today, I want to feel like last week we were in my living room together. So today we're going to be in my filming space together and we're all just going to have a good chit chat about this topic, why Christian African girls don't talk about sex. Sex education is not a thing. It's uncomfortable to talk about. And I want to know, is it just me? Because it was very uncomfortable to talk about for a very long time. I'm not going to lie, like for a very long time. And I had to invite one of the girls that actually, one of the girls that started to make this conversation comfortable-ish for me. I've invited her because I want to hear her opinion. And yeah, there's a lot of influences as to why talking about sex in the African Christian community was like a taboo. And then what I've also done is a lot of you, so I went on Instagram this morning because obviously I want to talk about the topic, and a lot of you kindly sent me your points of view. So we're going to read them out. Okay, it's 8 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock. Hi, Prince Omo, welcome. Jazzy King, welcome. The Empress, welcome. Are you on Instagram or are you on YouTube? When we cut off Instagram, you're going to be cut off. So if you're watching on Instagram, this is actually an interlude because I'm going to shut this down so that you can be on YouTube. So click the link in my bio on Instagram and join us on YouTube because today, this topic, we're going to be here till mama calls. You know those kind of parties you go to when they literally chase you out? Those house parties that they have to kick you out at 5 a.m. I think today is going to be one of them. I genuinely think today is going to be one of them because this topic, he's a topic that makes my heart go dim, dim, dim. I'll tell you a secret. So I have a WhatsApp group that are supportive of my YouTube channel, and I broadcast all my videos to that group, as well as put it on my WhatsApp story and Facebook and Instagram, la la la. That WhatsApp broadcast group, my mother is part of that group. I didn't send this particular topic because I'm not about to change my last name. Please, please, please. I still want to be somebody's daughter. I want to be comfortable being my mother's child. I don't want mother to come here and say, So what's that topic? Because that's the kind of intro I get from her. Once she rings me after I posted the video, I'm like, okay, what are we about to talk about now? The last time I posted a video about, what was it about? It was about how I nearly had a heart attack. Knowing that, giving her the full gist, she would have helped me have the heart attack before it happened. I didn't say much to her. When she got the updates, obviously I told that later on in detail, but she got the update before she heard the story, and she called me, she's like, what nonsense is this? I didn't sleep last night. I was like, Mommy, I don't understand. And honestly, I also think that this is how friends and family of YouTubers, this is how they hear the updates of fellow YouTubers. It's not just me. Most YouTubers do it. They just sit there in front of the camera and they just give updates. So yeah, so today's topic, it's that I'm still as scared. I'm not afraid. I'm still as scared of my mother. So I kindly and quietly did not send this update to that group because I don't want to have lecture tomorrow morning. But I want to chat to you girls about why African Christian girls don't talk about. And I don't want to use the words today because I don't want YouTube to shadow ban me or exclude me. I'm still a growing YouTuber, please. I want this laptop. I want this platform to grow. So I want us to call it intimacy. But we know that it's not intimacy because we're not talking about how it goes down in the bedroom. We're just talking about the educational part of it. So pardon me if I use the word intimacy a lot because I don't want YouTube to block this whole thing going on here before we even started. So it's about 5 minutes and I think it's sensible that we start. So let me do the Vima intro. Every time I do this intro, it makes me remember that this is as authentic as it gets. So let's do the intro. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Vymartfam. How are you doing? Was that better than what it is when I record it for you guys? Drop a comment. If you like my intro, just click like this video right now. And then we're going to jump into it. So if you are on Instagram, we have Eminence Gold. Welcome. Please, baby girl, jump on the link on my bio and join us on YouTube because Instagram is going to go off in a bit. So, where do we begin? Let's start from the beginning. Someone in a conversation reached out to me and said, Vymartfam, I'm quite interested about why us girls, it was a girl, us girls don't talk about anything intimacy as Christians. And I was like, because we don't talk about it. And she was like, but yeah, but then we do talk about it much later. And there was would have been a lot that we could learn. And I thought, true. Particularly me, I could have learned a lot growing up. Nobody said experimenting. Just hearing how certain things worked would have helped. And then I was having conversation with a group of girls last year and we brought the topic again and it just went gaga. So when I think about my interested topic, hey girl, welcome, Sugar Buzz Lady. Love you right back, girl. So when I thought about what can we bring to a YouTube live, clearly this is my second YouTube live in 2020. I thought we'd talk about this particular topic so that we can have a conversation. So grab your drink. I have mine. I will be hydrated. In fact, if I need to go and refill, I will leave this camera here. I will go and refill and I will come back. So let me go through the comments. And let's start the conversation. And I want you guys to jump in the comment section. I have created a Skype specifically for those that want to air their emotions. Because last week you guys said, I don't want to type. I want voice because I want to be able to express my emotion. So we have created a Skype account. So before we get to the voice bit, if you have a Skype account, please log in I will give you my Skype name in a bit, but please log into Skype so that if you want to call in, you know, I feel like a radio presenter. If you want to call in to give your point of view, you can just call in and you can just tell me what is going on. So let's go through the comments that are in my DM on Instagram. And if you're not following me on Instagram, I nearly deleted the responses. What? How would that happen? The gist will not be tough if I delete the responses now. So I decided that so we're gonna have Skype option, okay? So let's talk about it. So my question was, why do Christian girls not talk about, you know, the S word? And I got some DM and I got some responses. The first response I got was, because growing up, parents hardly discussed it except as a warning to flee getting close to a man. Please, if this was your experience growing up, please just type in the comment section and give us your point of view. Because what this girl said here was exactly, I mean, I'm not here to shame my parents. Come on, they're the best parents in the world. I will swap mine for yours, don't worry. I will keep my parents any day, anytime. But saying that, this particular response around parents hardly discussed it was my reality growing up. It was like the first day my mom posed education of this topic. Let me tell you what I got. What I got is as follows. Now that you are in puberty, now that you're having your monthly cycle, it is worth mentioning that if you as much as let a guy touch you, you are going to be pregnant. It doesn't end there. And then when you are pregnant, you see this wrapper. Now, for anybody who is not Nigerian, doesn't know what a wrapper is, it's the equivalent of a duvet cover. So you see this wrapper. In fact, let me use my African mother tongue. You see this wrapper that I'm holding here is what we used to give you to tie the baby on your back and we'll bid you goodbye. Which child at 14, 15, 16? I mean, my monthly cycle started about, I think 14 plus. So I was one of the late bloomers. You wonder why I'm still pretty at nearly 90? I'm joking. So who on earth at that age would you tell that? First of all, if they as much as let a guy touch them, they are going to fall pregnant. And secondly, if they fall pregnant, you will give them the equivalent of a duvet cover as parting gift to go and start an adult life. That would put the fear of Jesus in anybody. That made me so scared. Like, I immediately owned my tomboyness and I just said, you know what? After all, I'm a boy, so a boy cannot touch me. That was me for the next couple of years. So I want to hear from you guys. Do you relate with this? Was your experience different? And then let's go to the next response. Hey guys on Instagram, Dami Lolo, welcome. Mark Terrence, welcome. We are on YouTube, so click the link in my bio and join us on YouTube because Instagram is going off very soon. I can see people are joining on here. Sugar Boss Lady, you're laughing. You're laughing. I want to know. Please type in the comments. See, this has to be interactive. You guys cannot. Eminence Code, hello. You guys cannot leave me here to be talking to myself. This is an evening gathering with the girlfriends. So please type in the comment section. Does that resonate, or were your parents different? And if they were different, please start typing in the comment section what they told you or what you heard from other people's story. Now let's go to the next response. The next response was because it wasn't a thing we were taught about in school or at home. Yes, we were not taught. I mean, I did not move out of Nigeria until I was early 20s. No school taught me about education of the S. No. And again, if you went to a school where they taught you about it, please help us here, because I don't want this to be just my opinion, which is why I'm reading other people's opinions. But no school, no teacher sat me down and said, so puberty, we talked about your body changing, and I remember it used to be this funniest conversation when they talk about the guys, when the girl flips to the guys and talk about how they start, their voice cracks, their puberty, they start to grow hair, they start to grow beards, their private hair in their pubic area and on their armpits. And as a girl, it just used to tickle me, but I didn't know what else to do with the tickling, because my mother said to me, if I let a man touch me, so that man excludes my brother, everybody else that touches me, because I hug my brothers and I laugh with my brothers and I play with my brothers, and I was never pregnant. So it means anybody aside my family, as much as touch me, they're about to fall pregnant and life is about to happen. So that was my experience. And nobody, to this second response, nobody ever mentioned it to me in school that this is what sex education is about. And then let's go to the next point. Another person said, it was just a thing while we were growing up. We never really talked about it. Hey, King Solomon. Hey, Lively Femi. We're on YouTube. Please click the link in my bio and join us here on YouTube. So it was just a thing. It was never discussed. And then recently I was chatting to a friend actually, and she was giving me a totally different perspective that at home they sat down and they had a full-blown conversation about the S word. I was like, which house? And she was like, yeah, her mother was comfortable. I wish she can join today. I was like, please, why did your mother not adopt me? Because it was in my 30s that I had to learn and have conversations. In fact, it's in the recent years that I've been comfortable to have the conversations with my girlfriends. So for somebody's mother to be able to sit her down and have that conversation, I'm not comparing mothers here and I'm not shaming any mother. Like I said, I would choose my mother over yours any day, anytime. But I thought that was useful perspective, that somebody had the opportunity, because I never did. Another person is coming from the Christian girl perspective. She said, if we talk about it, then it means we're having it. So this is where the Christian girl, the Christian community comes in. And this is where there is a fine line, because the Bible is clear about sex outside the context of marriage. This is not the conversation for today. I think I'm using the word a lot. YouTube, please don't block me, please. So she said, if we talk about it, then it means we're having it. I totally hear her. Because you want to tell your parents that you are not. But at your age, you that join my YouTube live, at your age, lie to me. Just lie to me that you have not had it before. Lie to all of us on this group. So the fact that we couldn't talk about it because it meant we were having it, did it mean we knew the best way to go about it? And that's where this is coming from for me. Did it mean that it was the right or wrong way? I don't think so, because I feel like knowledge is power. Now, Sugar Boss Lady said, my mom was too gangster. She didn't tell me nothing. When you look into her eyes, you just know what not to do. I totally relate. I had one of those mothers who, when you do something outside, my mama does not say anything. I'm digressing now, so stay with me. When you do something wrong outside, you step out of line. My mother talked to you outside, hell to the no. She just goes, if you see that hand in mouth, please, whoever you guys went to visit, whoever was the outside person in that conversation, follow them home. Because if you come home that night, your own is finished. From the car to the house, it will take you about 48 hours to recover. So I can totally relate when Sugar Boss Lady said, my mom was too gangster. She didn't tell me nothing. When you looked into your eyes, you just knew what not to do. I agree. I can relate. Another response came and said, I think, let me read this properly. I think they're talking about it. They just choose who to talk about it with. Good. I'm totally happy if people are talking about it. But it was quite a revelation for me, actually, the first time I came about this topic. When the group of girls that were there, majority of them were Christians. They were what you would call the classic church girl. And when the person that raised the conversation, everybody just shrugged. And I was like, I don't understand. Everybody here is over 25 years of age. Everybody here knows what the word is. I'm not making an assumption that everybody's having it, but come on, why is it a taboo conversation? It took somebody to say, yeah, it's not a big deal. And then people were like, it's not a big deal, but because I'm a Christian, I can't really talk. I'm like, does talking equal to doing? Does talking to get knowledge equal doing? I don't think so. And I'm focusing today on talking equals knowledge. Please don't go and misquote me. Take this out of context and say Vmart came to our channel and say everybody should just go and be having the S word to worry about. That is your problem. Don't put that on me. Hi, Fancy OJ. Hi, King Sully. Hi, cute Toby Lola. Please click the link on my YouTube, on my bio to join us on YouTube because Instagram is going to go off soon. So that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying... And that's not this conversation. This conversation is the lack of the education, the lack of the conversation, why it was a taboo, why people just shrug, why people were just too Christian to talk about it. I'm like, why? Why? Eminence Gold said, before, not talking about it makes people saints. But now, not talking about it makes people conclude that's what you do. Oh my God. You are so right, darling. On this one, darling, you are super right because it's shifted. But my question back to you, Eminence, is do you think that it is the reality of every African Christian girl now? Or do you think it's the reality of people over a certain age? Because I don't have a young Christian girl, maybe a teenager that is watching us now. It would be lovely to hear what they think. So, Eminence, I ask you, please, do you think that is the truth, the reality of everybody now? Or the reality of some Christian girls over a certain age? I want to think the latter. So the older people now think that, why won't you talk about it? But I'm referring to when I was that age, when I needed to know about it, where was the education? Where did it go? So please tell us. Martha, welcome. Martha said, no one talks to me about it. Growing up in Benin, I saw teenage pregnancy and all that goes with it, and I decided I wanted it the other way. Yeah. Some of us learned from the streets. Some of us just learned that having a child at a young age or having it equals to having a child, and having a child at a young age did not look pleasant and was not economically viable, and so we just thought it was easy to just be a Christian. It was easy, very easy to just shut it. I was one of those people. I just thought, nah, I don't want to have a child at this age. I can't live out with my parents right now. I didn't even like human beings to that point of being in a relationship, so please just shut it down. It was just easy. Being a Christian girl was one of the easiest decisions I ever made because I was very stubborn. My father used to beat me a lot. And then when I realized that if I stop being stubborn, the only way to be stubborn, to be less stubborn, is to be a Christian and to serve God. If I love God, I can love and obey my parents. So I just did the equation, and that's how I became a Christian at a young age. That's not the entire story though, but that was one of it. So Eminence Gold has come back and said, to me, it's the reality of some over a certain age. I agree. Girlfriend, I very much agree with you because I feel like it is the reality over a certain age. But don't you think, back to you again, Eminence, don't you think it would have been good to have that at a younger age, the education part of it, not the encouragement to indulge in it, but the education so that you kind of know, like, I got another response that I am pro that response because she was saying, oh, it was never a taboo between she and her friends. They even talk about contraception and all of that. When you bring Christian girls together and talk about contraception, hey, at least the ones that I know, my Lord and my God, people just start going, when is the rapture happening? So this girl can just go to hell. Honestly, like when is it going to happen? That's the perspective, I guess. So that was why I was very interested in this topic when it was raised up. So on Instagram, we have Midas Touch, we have Cute Lola, we have VM Lunge. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. We are here on YouTube. Click link on my bio and join us on YouTube because this is going to go up soon. Right. So Eminence, please come back to answer my question. Mariam, hi. Oh my God. Mariam, I would like you to actually dial in and give us your perspective, because you are one of my, let's not have that conversation here. But yeah, I'd like to hear your views. So Martha says shutting it down was easier than dealing with relationship born out of ignorance. Some experience should not be lived. I agree. As a mom, yeah, so Martha is a mom. Hey, OG Idahosa, welcome. Martha said, as a mom, I will talk to my children about it. If you don't tell them, they will hear about it from the wrong place. If you remember last week, I said, if I had the opportunity, I want to be doing those, what do they call it? Audio captions and sounds that I add to my videos, like, bish. Honestly, Martha, bish, you did it. You totally nailed it. If you don't tell them, and that was my point, you don't tell me, I'm going to watch on TV. Like, I remember the first day I stumbled on porn. I was flipping, must have been on YouTube or something. You know when you're watching something, you're scrolling on something and all those sites pop up and then you mistakenly click. If you see the way I jumped. If you see the way I flipped. And then I was checking, oh my God, who's watching me? Da, da, da. And then I checked, I couldn't go back immediately. Honestly, this is, I'm talking from my experience now. I couldn't go back to check, what was that, by the way? I literally just, by the time I mustered the courage days later to say, okay, I think that was porn. I now went, I was like, oh, how did I get, so, because I was curious, how do I get there? I don't want to just be chatting to a friend or give somebody my phone and then just see porn pop up and it looks like that's my life's reality. And then I realized that it was one of those adverts that are in your face and you can easily click on them. If somebody had sat me down and talked to me and educated me about what pornography is, I think I would have seen it and just gone, yeah, not for me, and moved on. However, I flinched, as in blood of Jesus, kind of flinched when I saw it. So I'm going to read another response. I want you guys to tell me in the comment section, please, what's your experience growing up? What is your experience? Whether from your parents or whether as a Christian girl from the church community, because we need to come to the church community perspective. Now, another response I got is probably depends on background and tradition and who one has around them. Personally, this person was speaking for herself. Personally, have no issues talking about it. Actually, her friends and her often talk about it without problems. Perfect. Brilliant. Remove the stigma and talk about it without issues. And she said, we don't talk about it in a sneaky way. Talk about it like it's every other conversation, because people need to know and people need to learn. In a regular conversation way, perhaps it's not necessarily something Nigerians, as an example, as she was saying, because she's Nigerian, it's not something Nigerian people necessarily talk about because we're maybe not used to talking about it. I put my hand up as a Nigerian. I speak for myself and for her as well. I was not used to talking about it. To even be bringing it up on my channel, do you know what I mean? This topic was brought to me a year ago and I kept debating, and then I now it took me a year to have this conversation. Me. That all of you think I'm very loud, very confident, very everything. It took me a year to bring this topic to my platform. So she said, but I'm sure if someone opened up the conversation, then we'll find it easy to talk about. I talk with friends, not just about that, but contraceptive, etc. I love this response. And my bit is I want to be able to, I have a platform, right? It's called YouTube, it's called Instagram. I want to be able to create an opportunity to talk about subjects that maybe were taboo to me, that I felt perhaps I would have learned differently from, so that other people don't have to live that experience that I lived before. So this is a platform and we're talking about it. So Eminence Gold said, exactly, education over it is the best because you tend to understand such situations better. Again, you get another bish. Ouch. That hurt. That hurt. But seriously, girl, you are so right. As in, tell me what it feels like or explain to me. Give me getting this reminder. Give the child the pros and the cons and let them make a decision. I think that pros and cons way of upbringing, is very hard. It's very hard for Nigerian parents. I mean, I say Nigerian parents because I'm Nigerian. I feel like that pros and cons is very hard. I grew up in a household where you do as you're told. And I don't know if anybody else, maybe it's only my father. It's okay. Maybe it's only my dad. Maybe my father is the only person where you do as you're told. But I feel like if you had the conversation with me and you gave me pros and cons, yes, I'm a child, I'm growing. I may not be able to make all the right decisions, but as long as you kind of shift the responsibility to me a little bit, it would help me be able to make those decisions for myself, as well as be fearfully respecting my parents' opinion. Hey Osasu, welcome. We are on YouTube, so click the link in my bio and join us there, because Instagram is going to go off soon. So Eminence said, oh, we have lots of comments. Oh my God, I'm loving this already. Eminence said, if one is not well educated about it, what happened last is the child will get wrong impression about it. And the wrong impression is what brings the main problem. Darling, take it away. Like you've just totally taken it away. And my hope and prayer is that as we're having these conversations, we have mothers or future mothers like myself in this platform, that if nothing changes, the 10 of you here and the how many of you on Instagram will be able to educate your children differently. I would have lived a good life today if that's what we get out of it. Because actually, the child will get a wrong impression. Imagine the things that you were told about and given the chance to make the decisions on. The choice is yours. See, it took adulthood and living by myself in diaspora, in the abroad, in the United Kingdom, for instance, to be able to just come to a place where I weigh the pros and the cons of my decisions, and then I go head on for it. Before now, my decisions were made for me, including what to study, what to eat, how tall to be, how short to be, who to smile at, what hair to do, whether to have it low, whether to have it high. The decisions were just my parents. Like my parents just ran my life shelteredly very well. And I turned out good. I'm not complaining. But I'm saying education. Like just tell me some things. Like let me be okay to just say, so mommy, what about I can imagine if I came back from school one day, I just said to my mother, so mommy, they talked about eggs at school today and they slap. My mother is not wicked. I'm just saying. Okay, let me go back to the comments. So Martha said, since I don't know who to ask, I read books on the topic. I read a lot of novels, and believe me, that's not the place to learn about sex. Hey, Mills and Boone. Hey, how many of you read Mills and Boone? Yeah. I read one and I just respected myself, because as I'm reading it, I'm feeling a kind of way. I'm in the love story and I'm in the sex story, and I'm like, I don't understand what I'm supposed to do with this, so I drop it and go and read my Bible quietly. Please, I don't want to enter trouble. I don't want to be in trouble. You see that description my parents left in my brain, which is, if a man touch you, you're going to get pregnant. And when you get pregnant, we're going to give you that wrapper for you to tie the child on your back, and that's your parting gift out of this house. So I will lose all my privileges. There was no way I was gonna go and have sex and go and get pregnant and go and start a hard life at the age of a teenager. I ain't gonna do that. And yes, you would read it from book, you would hear it from school, you would want to experiment, because kids are curious. Kids are very curious. Anyway, oh hi, sorry, I can see Ewa Tomi, it's Raza, the property guy. Hi guys, we are on YouTube having a hot discussion. Click the link on my bio and join, because Instagram is going off very, very, very soon. So, the Coily Closet. Hey, girl. Oh, my God, guys. You need to go and check out the Coily Closet's profile on Instagram. The products, when she uses the product and her hair just looks a certain way, I just want to collect the hair and just put it on my head. I don't want to do the work. I just want the hair, and I'll just keep it moving. Honestly, that's my life's mission and my life's goal. But so Coily Closet said, Hold on. Oh my God, I'm behind on comments. This is exciting. Honestly, this is good problem to have. So the colleague has said, I'm from a Caribbean background, but we have some similarities from a Christian perspective. Really? That is news to me. That is very new to me. Please share more, because we're more come to the church side. Church, talk about which church did you go to? My parents, my family church is Baptist church. And when I gave my life to Jesus, when I became born again, I went to an Anglican church. None of those denominations will ever talk to you about sex. Forget it. As in, the pastor wants to now, it's not in the bulletin. So they ain't talking about it. It's not in the bulletin. But I know churches these days that actually talk about sex education. And they even talk about it to couples to help them explore together. That's why one of my sisters have joined. And I hope we can get to that part. So we're going to talk about churches very soon. Church perspective very soon. So Martha said, Christians hide a lot of things under the pretense of their faith. Feeling too holy to ask about sex. I teach teens about sex and relationships so they don't make mistakes. Martha, thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Oh my goodness. That is amazing. Thank you. Because I can imagine if did I have any older person that cared so much as to sit me down and say, I'm sure you have questions, or what are your questions? How can I help you? Nobody. Everybody just said, don't do it. In fact, if you turn to the left, don't do it. If you turn to the right, don't do it. Don't do what? What is the what? See, for a long time, I couldn't even use the word sex. I could not say the word. Another thing I could not say. We never said it in my house. You know the fork, the cutlery, the fork with the the fork that you used to eat food? We called it thick. In my house, we called it thick because we're not about to say fork. Like what? Because if you call it fork, you're referring to F-U-C-K. Whose roof? Like my father would slaughter the life out of you. So we used to say, oh mommy, I want to collect fake. Now I'm laughing because it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Why? The word is fork. F-O-R-K. Can I just talk about it? But no, I can't. If I do, I might lose my privileges of being a child of my father. So the curly closet said, hold on. People believe if you talk about it, it's like you are telling your child to go and do it. They feel ignorance is bliss, but it's not. Girlfriend, I agree 100 with you. Ignorance is not bliss at all, because a girl could be, I don't know what age we get hormones, but I want to believe that once we start our cycle, we have the whole hormones. A girl could be feeling a type of way and being touched by a guy in a type of way, and then just feels, okay, this feels right to do. It's exciting, and just ends up and tries it the first time, tries it the second time, tries it the third time, and it becomes something that she does, but she's not able to have a conversation. So you know what? Things happen from there. It's not just teenage pregnancy we're talking about. We're talking about STDs. We're talking about HIV. There's so many things. And for me, when I started to read and learn about it for myself, it wasn't just the pregnancy bit. It was the STDs and the HIV and everything else. We want to come from a Christian perspective, the soul ties. There's all these complications, like body count, 1 million complications that comes from it. I think we're going too deep now. We're about to shut down this Instagram because this just is for YouTube, not for Instagram. So if you're on Instagram, go to my bio, click that link, join us on YouTube, because I'm about to shut Instagram. I don't want to hold myself back as I'm talking, but this is for my YouTubers. So go on my bio, please. We're going to shut you down in 10 minutes. So I totally agree with you, the curly closet. Thank you so much for that. People believe, bliss. It would never be bliss. It is silly to think it is bliss. The curly closet again said, I think there is a big amount of shame about female sexuality. A good Christian girl is not meant to think about sex or want it. Mariam, please come up. Mariam, we need you here. But somehow meant to get married and have a vexing for her husband. Auntie, that's the part that confuses me. See, Curly Closet, thank you very much. In fact, you can just take this chair right now. Take my feminine chair and just come and sit down here. Like, auntie, just come and sit here. Because it's the same way, nobody expects you to know about it. Or, if I use my example, you were not expected to have a boyfriend or know a man or whatever. And then the moment you graduate, the next question is, where's your husband? I thought I was reading. I thought you said I should go and come back with first class. That's the exact same thing that you've just said. it's a shame. You're not supposed to talk about your sexuality as a woman. No, you don't. And then when you get married, you should just be, I don't know, what's the sex symbol now that I've seen on telly? Oh, the one that comes to my mind is I watched 50 Shades Freed recently. I can't remember the actress's name. Yeah, that scenario. You're just supposed to be all of that. You're supposed to embody all of that. Once you are with your husband, you should just be everything. But before then, there was no conversation. There was no exploration. No, I don't mean explore by doing it. I mean totally just understanding how it works. No, you're not allowed to know anything. You're just supposed to, by the virtue of wearing a ring, you should just be great. Okay. Eminence Gold said, as for me, I grew up to decide for myself. And I always do things in order not to disappoint or betray the trust my mom has in me. And I can say this keeps me grown because I'm able to share things with my mom. Oh my goodness. You see that, being able to share things with your mom? I mean, I share a lot of things with my mom, but this topic is off limits. Maybe now if I ring her up and talk to her about it, she'll probably listen. I'll probably have a conversation. But it wasn't something I thought we were welcomed and okay to talk about. Nah. It was not a topic. Hey on Instagram. Hey Fali. Hey Falake. We are on YouTube. I'm going to shut down Instagram very soon. So please click the link in my bio. Join us on YouTube so that when Instagram goes down, you can continue, because it's hot in here. You're not even reading the comments that are coming through. So I totally. So I'll tell you a story that struck me. And every day I pray for my future children. I say to God, help me to be that kind of a mother. Again, this is not throwing shade on any mother. No. I will not swap my mother for yours. Sorry. I love my mom. I'm keeping her. But when this woman told this story, I thought in my mind that God, help me to be that mother that the Holy Spirit tells me a lot of things in my day-to-day life. Help me to be that mother that the Holy Spirit will tell me. I will be able to hear or perceive in my spirit when something is not right with my children, to give them the opportunity to talk. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to be that perfect mother where every day I just go to my child simply because I'm a coach. Is there anything you like to talk about? No. There'll be days where I'm like, please answer your name. We're not family right now because I want to be with myself. That's not what I'm referring to. I'll tell you the story that got me. Just because of what you just shared, Eminence Gold, that you said, because you're able to share things with your mom. So there was this woman who told this story about her and her daughter. And it highlighted the relationship I pray I have. And I think I have that relationship to a large extent with my mother today. She said she came home one day and she woke up the next day and felt in her spirit that something wasn't right. So she called her daughter over to her bedroom and they were having conversation. And she said, you know, if everything is not okay, you can talk to me. Like, the Spirit of God gave her words to say to her daughter. And the right words hit the right spot, and the daughter broke down crying. And after so many floods of tears, her daughter said, Mommy, I was actually praying that God would tell you to ask me, that God will help me tell you. And just about that time, the mother asked the child that question that then helped the child actually say she was being molested by their relative. So you see that thing about being able to share? It saves a multitude of sin. Like that secret, kind of, you hide it all. If you can't share, you then go and talk to the friend or peer who's dealing with the same pressure as you, and then you probably all just make the same mistake. Who's at a loss? Who's at a loss? So, Koli Kozet said, my grandfather was a Pentecostal pastor. We have two people that are going to help us when we get to the church conversation. Your grandfather was a Pentecostal pastor, so you can give us the real deal. Yes, girl, we're going to need all of that tea. In Jamaica, okay, we need to hear the Jamaican perspective. Like, I feel like giving you the mic right now. I feel like dialing you on Skype so you can just voice it. We might need to do that. If you have Skype, please download it and sign in, because when it gets hotter, we might just start dialing in and just having a conversation, because reading these comments, I'm not reading it quick enough. So, Maria, I think this is the right time for us to... Yeah, so the colleague said, I'm so happy for my mom. She kept it real with talking about sex sometimes. Lucky you. Amazing. Well done. 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 That is amazing. Like, wow. 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 That is, yeah, my mom kept real with a lot of things. But when it came to this topic, it looked like this was not even a topic to discuss. But now we can talk about it. Why not? So yeah, so if you're watching this video and you agree, please give this video a like. Click the like button and just like the video. Like you can just click like this video, please. I can see nobody has liked the video so far. Come on guys, you're enjoying this topic, just like the video. You're all giving me your perspective without liking my video. Like my video, and if you have not subscribed to my channel, please hit the red button so that you are subscribed. I'm enjoying this conversation. I feel like it might get to a point where we take the bra off. That's why I need to switch off this Instagram, because this is a YouTube type of conversation. Hi, Jericho emoji. Welcome. We are on YouTube. This Instagram is going to go up very soon. So hit the link in my bio to join us on YouTube. I'm Deva TV. I can see you're on YouTube. Thanks, girl. Well done for hitting 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, by the way. Guys, check out our channel. Give this video a like. Please like the video. I'm watching you, whether you're liking my video. I cannot see any like. What is it? Have I offended you? Are you not enjoying this conversation? Please give this video a like now, auntie. Like, click the like button. Like. There's a thumbs up button there. Just click on it. So now I want to switch gear to talk about Collie Closet is on this today. So I also feel angry sometimes because women get the blame when things go wrong sexually. If the girl gets pregnant out of wedlock, she gets the worst treatment. Did she impregnate herself? Girlfriend, I think she did. Did she impregnate herself? I think she did. I think Curly Closet. Angry. She said, I'll read that comments again. I feel angry sometimes because women get the blame when things go wrong sexually. If the girl gets pregnant out of wedlock, she gets the wrong treatment. Did she impregnate herself? Yes, ma, she did. Honestly, nobody asks the guy. I don't know. That's my perspective. That's the stories I've heard. Nobody asks the guy, what happened? Did you think that was the right thing to do? So what's going to... So this alarm keeps going on and so annoying because I'm filming with my phone. It just keeps coming as a reminder, and I don't know if I need to come off it to switch it off. But anyway, that was a distraction. So nobody asked the guy, everybody asked the girl. And unfortunately, because it's the girl that her stomach protrudes, it becomes very visible. So she's the one that gets all the blame. It's unfortunate. It's what happens. But she didn't impregnate herself, to your question, sis. She didn't. So Curly Closet and Mariam. Now let's go into the church. Why the churches not have sex education conversations, please? Somebody give me valid reasons. We've just talked about the home front, yeah? The home is the first place of the society. How do they explain that thing? Okay. So please, somebody tell me about the churches bit, because I've just given you my opinion from home front. Tell me your opinion. Why do churches, or did you go to a church, or do you have a church? This is your opportunity for you to tell us those churches so that we can tell all our young teenage friends to stroll to your church if we cannot tell them and we cannot have the conversation with them. Why do churches, African churches, why don't we talk about it to teenagers or young women? Why? I mean, the church, like I said, my family church is a Baptist church. When I got born again, I went to an Anglican church. Between those two, it was off limits. There were no conversation. Even when at some point I started to like boys, I didn't know what to do with it. If I look home ways, there's no hope. If I look to church ways, there's no hope. There was nobody to talk about it, so I had to shut it down. Yeah, that was what. So please, Mariam, educate us here, because you were one of my... So let me explain my relationship with Mariam when it comes to this topic. Hi, Abiodun Agedu. Hey, girl. Join us. Click the link on my bio. Join us on YouTube. So, Mariam and I, we've known for a long time. There's a whole history. And we were having a conversation one day and we are talking about sex education. And she was like, oh, hang on a second. You don't talk about this? And I was like, nope. You don't know about this? Nope. She was literally telling me about the whole works. Like, when Mariam sits you down and educates you on this topic, girl, if you didn't know how your body did what to get to what, just send her a message after this, or tell me if you need her contact, because this girl, she'll school you. Like, she will, by the time she's done with you, you'll be grateful that you met this person. She was one of the first people, actually, and this is just about 10 years ago, that made me sit down and have a conversation and own up the fact that I didn't know some things, and own up the fact that I wasn't comfortable to talk about it, and I was given a safe container to be able to just be educated. So Mariam, please tell us. Now, Martha said, same ignorance is bliss. They feel like talking about it means they should do it. Okay. We have all agreed that the fact that you are not talking about it does not mean that the person might not be doing it. So please educate them so that if they were in a position to decide to or not to, the pros and the cons are with them. Because if as a pastor, a teenager came to me and said, and talked about the topic, I don't know. If this was 15, 20 years ago, I probably would do on my Baptist and Pentecostal, Baptist and whatever pastor did to me, which was it was a blank face. It was, thou shalt not, period. Like, they might as well have been my fathers. So maybe I would have said that, but at least in the last 10 years, I would want to understand what's driving them. That's where I would start from, and help me understand. And then I would want to share my experience and say, this is what I think. It's up to you. I don't think there's any sane child that you would say, these are the pros, these are the cons. It's up to you, that will go and do it. Because whether you tell them, you don't tell them, it's out there. There's porn everywhere. Everybody has this thing called mobile phone. Yeah, pornography. You've never heard about sex. You've never done it before. You just, these days, when somebody asks me any question, I just Google it. So I can imagine if a young teenager had a question about it, they just Google it. And then Google will teach them. Not the parents. Google will be their school teacher. And you know what Google is going to tell them? Google ain't going to teach them abstinence. Google ain't going to tell them to be Christians. Google ain't going to tell them the rights and the wrong. Google is going to make it attractive to them, my darling. Because I don't think anybody Googling that is going to be Googling, tell me the right and wrong between. No, they're just going to say, what is the meaning of? And then you see all these videos and all these porns and all these things that make it look like in the moment it's all about it, and nobody tells you the before and the after. You see what the problem is? Yes, that's what it is. So, the curly closet, I'm waiting for your perspective from your Pentecostal grandfather. Please don't leave us hanging. Christopher Adansi said, Mustard Seed Chapel International Rugby. We have conversations about sex and relationship. Yes, that's coming from Mariam. Mariam, that's why I said she should join today and have a conversation, because she was the first people. I was like, and this person is, at the time, she wasn't a pastor yet, but she's a pastor now. At the time, she was a pastor's wife. And I was like, isn't this supposed to be taboo? She was like, no, why would it be? In the right context. In the right context. She downloaded. And every time I had a question, I went back to her. Because I know that a lot of Christian girls, even today, they lie about orgasm. Let's not even go into that topic. They lie. Climax, some people have no clue. Some people I've spoken to, they have no clue what climax is. Like, it does not occur to them that it's a thing that happened, that as much as it's pleasurable and enjoyable for the male in the sexual relationship, it is for the female. It's not a thing to be discussed. Like, okay, this is the point where I shut down Instagram. So thank you very much for joining. I'm about to shut you down. Follow me on YouTube, because we're about to go down. And this is the kind of video that I ain't leaving on Instagram. So Instagram is down. Let's talk. Real talk. So when I have conversations with some Christian girls and we talk about, and I'm like, so climax and orgasm and pleasures, and they're just like, I thought sex was for procreation. I'm like, who gave birth to you? Like, before the child was to be coming, was there no man and woman and man and wife? I don't understand. I'm confused. So it is good that you've mentioned that there's a church. So please, if that church is online and you know any teenager that needs education, please send them the link to that church so that they can go and learn if they feel comfortable to learn it in a church environment. But if not, at the very least, all of us here will educate one teenagers each. Yeah? So let's see. Somebody, Eminence Gold, said, I'm a Muslim and basically in Islamic gathering, what they say is scripturally, early marriage is the best. Well, I have my point of view, but that's what the Muslims believe. Totally, I'm not even going to argue that. Early marriage has its pros and cons, like even late marriage and all marriages, because at least in the context of marriage, you can have it. And at least there is not the whole, I mentioned earlier on, there's all the complications. There's body count, there's soul tie, there's uncoupling, there is the complication of being entangled with somebody. There's all these things that come with it, which is probably why some parents said, don't do it, instead of them to tell you there's all these things. And maybe they couldn't explain it themselves. So we ain't blaming no parents here. We're just having a conversation and sharing our experiences. Mariam, you said mercy. Mariam, help us now. Don't leave us here. Eminence Gold said, so they advise that a child should get married as early as possible rather than going all round. Yeah, valid, totally valid. Links with Islam, totally valid. Marian said, even though we don't talk about it in our church, 60% of people still don't talk about it. Oh, even though we don't, I just thought somebody just said you talk about it in your church. So even though we don't talk about it in our church, 60% of people don't talk about it. It's a personal decision based on my. This thing is annoying me. I don't know if I come off this screen, if I'm going to lose the live. That's why I don't want to come off the screen. So even though, I repeat that comment again, even though we don't talk about it in our church, 60% of people still don't talk about it. It's a personal decision based on my child that drove my strength on the topic. Mariam, it is my experience as well that actually made me decide that when the opportunity arises, I want to talk about it. I'm with you. It was my personal experience that made me feel like, because I remember when I came to you and we were talking about it, it was just very random off a conversation. And I was like, oh my God, how is she so comfortable talking about it? How is she so knowledgeable? And you were teaching me stuff and helping me just understand what my body is saying in that context. And I was like, oh, wow. I'd not known this for so long, and I can imagine how many people. So every time I was in a gathering of similar Christian girls with Christian background as me, I threw the topic in, and then people shrug, and I was like, you are like me. Come, let's have the conversation. If I can learn, you can learn. I'm not saying because you know it, go all out and do it. I'm saying it is a thing to be enjoyed in the right context, and it's something to know about rather than walking blindly. So, Eminence, oh my God, there's so many comments, you guys. I'm loving this. I feel like I'm in a room with all of you right now. So, Eminence Gold said, the only thing you will hear from the alpha is, go get married to avoid destruction. That's very similar to what a pastor would tell you in a Christian community. Go and get married to avoid falling pregnant, or to avoid sexual sin, or to avoid. So we're similar. We're dealing with the same problems. Totally. So Mariam said, Collie Closer said, I think it's culture mixed with religion. Do you know my comments when I think about culture mixed with religion? You know, the Bible says the word of God is of no effect because of your traditions. The word of God is of no effect. I can Google it and tell you. That's how I find everything these days. I just go on Google and ask Google. I type the word. Now you're about to learn something that I do quickly. So I type the word into Google. So the word of God is of no effect. Is of no effect because of your tradition. I'll tell you what it is. Yep, I got it. Mark 7 verse 13. Yeah, Mark 7 verse 13 says, the word of God is of no effect because of your tradition. Yeah, I totally agree. So what did, hold on. I can't type it all over. Okay, Mariam, you might need to ring. I will give you a Skype very soon to ring, maybe because we need to hear your opinion. The only thing, what was I? Sorry, I'm losing my, okay. So Curly Closer said, I think it's culture mixed with religion. In some churches, the focus is so much on rules and what you should not do that they forget to say what you can do. Thou shalt not, that shantn't. See, when I started to develop my relationship with God, you know what I realized there? I realized that sometimes people portray God from the eyes of their own experiences. It doesn't necessarily make it right or wrong. That's what I realized. I'll repeat that. People portray God from their experiences. It doesn't make it right or wrong. And you know what that made me do going forward? I just find God for myself. I study my Bible because honestly, when you read the Bible, the Holy Spirit will give you inspiration between those two. And then you have a Bible believing church. Combine those three. You'll be able to find God for yourself. I'm not preaching it to be against church. That's not what I'm saying here. But I've come to realize that a lot of people, if a topic is off limits for them, it becomes off limits. It's like a leader. A leader or a company has the attitude, the beliefs and the systems of the owner or the CEO. A church also, and that's why the Bible says in Mark chapter 7 verse 13, the word of God is of no effect because of your tradition, because of your thinking, because of your mindset. So, Mariam, I'm going to ask you to please, let me type it in. What is it called now? YouTube. So find me on Skype, YouTube live. Anita, please confirm if this is wrong. YouTube live with VMAT. Yeah? Find this on Skype. And find me, and then you can dial in and we can have a conversation. So type in YouTube live with VMAT. Yeah? YouTube live with VMAT. And then find me. I'm going to put my laptop here so that you can dial directly. So, where was I? So even though we talk about it, 60%, okay, the only thing is I thought, it's a mix of culture. Yeah. So please ask the question and let me take it from there. So Mariam is saying ask questions and she can comment. But Mariam, I've just given you my Skype that I set up for this YouTube stream, and I've got my laptop here. So please, if you can find me on Skype, I've just typed what it is, and then you'll be able to dial in. I will be able to chat. I want to hear you talk about this topic. YouTube live with VMAT. Yes, YouTube live with VMAT. Yes, on Skype. So find me, add me. I'll see you here and we can have a conversation. Thank you. So the colleague has said, I'm a rebel. I'm no longer in abstinence and purity culture because it feels it focuses a lot on women and very little on men's bad behavior. I hear you. And everything has its benefits, its pros and its cons. And I was talking to a friend. So I had a conversation about this because I felt it was interesting. Because I have this friend and we talked about abstinence and he's been abstaining. And I said to him, I think we were talking about the discussion of dating with purpose and not dating. And he said, what's the point dating if there's no purpose in it? And how do you abstain when you're putting yourself out there? But I think in the long run, I got from him, and that was probably the first time I've spoken to a guy who's abstaining. And I was quite impressed because he was not abstaining to prove to the world that he was abstaining. He was actually abstaining for himself. And there's a few people actually who have abstained for themselves and the benefits, and they're guys as well. So I totally hear you. And there's a lot of women shaming. I mean, the conversation we had last week, there was a lot of women shaming, wasn't there? There was and that was talking about traditional wife and working wife and all of that jazz. And there was a lot of women shaming. There was a lot of women shaming, and it goes to your point about when the girl is pregnant. It goes to your point about when in abstinence, for example. I totally echo your sentiments, girl. Collie Closer said, if we are talking about the Jamaican Pentecostal church, my grandparents have hardly discussed it. They didn't agree with contraception either, so they had a lot of children. They had a lot of children. So wait, let me get this right. So there's no contraception because they're a couple and they don't believe in it and they just keep having children. What if they had 99 children? What would they have done? Just out of curiosity. Alarm is done it again. Just out of curiosity, the curly closet, how many children do they have? I think this is funny. Sorry, I'm not mocking your grandparents. Who am I to do that? How dare I? No. So Shay Hollis, hi, welcome. Shay Hollis said, I'm gay. Does God love me? God loves everyone. The God that I know and love, the God that I know, I've come to know and I serve, loves everybody. The curly closet said, and the idea that it is essentially for the pleasure of men, so nobody really discusses women's pleasure or the actual mechanics of sex. Hey, oh, the curly closet, you should come and sit. Girl, my next YouTube live, you are taking this chair in my head because you are just speaking my mind. Nobody thinks about. That's what I said. So even when I go into a circle of Christian girls, obviously I'm a classic Christian, God-fearing church girl, blah blah blah, all that jazz, and they talk about and they bring up certain topics. I'm first looked at. Hey, Mariam is about to show up. Mariam is just joined. Hey girl, you can hear me, right? So let me put myself on mute for a second. I can hear you very well. I'll just finish what I'm saying and then you can tell us, because I'm going to increase it for all of you to hear. So let me put myself on mute so I can finish with what I was just saying, yeah? Thank you so much for joining. So Mariam is the first caller. The rest of you will be able to call. Now you have the YouTube, the Skype thing. So after Mariam, if anybody wants to call rather than type, we can take this to a whole new level. So to answer your question, right, where you said it's not discussed, it's assumed that it's the pleasure for men, so nobody discusses it with women. I agree. It's interesting that even the Jamaican culture is the same, because that was my reality. Before maybe 10 years ago, yeah, if you asked me about it and the mechanics of it, I told you it was for procreation. And I know a bunch of girls that agreed with me that all it was for was procreation. And that's where it ended. And then when we talk about orgasm and climax and all of that jazz, it's just what men enjoyed. Until I met this woman here that's about to take us to church on sex education. And she said it's part of her upbringing that actually drove her to be very determined about this topic. And that's what I'm determined as well. Not that my upbringing was wrong. We just didn't have a conversation about it. And I'm just like, younger generation, please talk about it. Please talk about it. Talk about it. Weigh your options. Make your decision. There is impact on every decision you make. If you close your eyes, there's an impact. Good or bad, your choice. If you open your eyes, there's an impact. Good or bad, your choice. So please have knowledge. Don't be the people that perish for the lack of knowledge. Please. It doesn't help anybody's cause. So, Kali Closer said, I have no idea, but my grandparents had 13 children and my mom had 12 siblings. Hey! That is what lack of contraception can do to anybody. So, we're about to bring Mariam in now. So, Mariam, darling, Can you hear me?
Yes.
You might need to turn my YouTube off. Sorry, the volume. Yeah, good. Can everybody hear Mariam? Please, if you can hear, just say, type in the comment section in case I need to increase the volume. If you can hear Mariam, Mariam, say hello so they can try, they can hear you.
Hi, everyone. Marian, Vivian's friend.
Can you hear? Please tell us in the comment section if you can hear, because this conversation is about to... This is the one that Nigerians will say, this Bedu is about to tear clothes. So guys, please tell me if you can hear Marian. Please tell me if you can hear Marian in the comment section so that we can have a conversation. Marian, you ready? Oh, hi. Okay, Charity Becco says, hi, Marian. Sugar Bus Lady said yes. So we can hear you, darling. So tell us your point of view and why the topic was important to you, because you kind of, like I said earlier, you were the first, I dare say. You were the first people that opened my eyes to the education about the topic, and we had a full round of conversation, and it was easy to come back to you and have conversations. So tell me, what drove you? What motivates you to want to talk about it?
So I'm just privileged that since I was young, I've always had the sense of God in me. Privileged. I mean, such an honor. Not a lot of people are that blessed. But putting that aside, even though I didn't live that righteous life until I was like 20, but I experienced a lot of, not a lot, well, however you quantify a lot of child abuse when I was younger. And I was also very wise in the sense that even though I was very young, I paid attention to a lot of people around me. I saw what marriages were up to, what they did, how they were doing it, and all the little bits in marriage. And I always vowed from a very young age that, one, my kids will find it easy to talk to me. Two, they will never go through the things that I went through. And even if they did, they will be able to tell me. Because all these things, like you've been saying, are taboos. Three, I won't have the kind of marriages I have seen around me. So I was determined, and being a choleric, you can imagine how your mind works. Yeah. So I was very determined from a very young age, even though I never walked in righteousness at all. I never walked with God early enough, even though I had the sense of it. But as I grew older and the realization of what had happened to me younger clicked, the more I wanted to know. I mean, by 16, if I'm being honest with you, by 16, most of my friends were not virgins. Like, none. Wow. None of the people around me were virgins. And they were just giving this thing up. Everybody was doing it. And I didn't feel the need to. Neither did I even understand why I didn't want to, or neither did I understand why I should. But at 16, when I turned exactly 16, I remember it was the month of May. And I made a personal decision. Okay, I want to know. Let's see what this is all about. So I did it. I was with a boyfriend, which I'd been dating for 3 years, who he was busy having sex, but I wasn't interested in those things. And I did it. And I was like, okay. Now, this guy, by the way, didn't even believe I was a virgin. But why would you believe I was a virgin? I was ready. I made up my mind. But obviously, I did it. And I was like, okay, is this it? Yes, it was nice. It was pleasurable. But then something in me knew that I was definitely doing something wrong. If my mom caught me right now, I'd be in trouble. They've always said that I shouldn't date boys. I shouldn't do this because I'll get pregnant, blah, 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 blah. So between the age of 16 and I'll say 18, I fully explored. And I say fully explored with no one to talk to. Now, I was doing this all by my own will. All by my own will. No one to talk to, no one to turn to, because it's such a taboo. You don't talk about it. Till today, my own mother, nearly over 35 years of life, still doesn't know that I was abused as a child. Doesn't have a clue. Now, even hiding some other bits in between, doesn't have a clue. So as I grew older, and by the time I hit 18, I was fully aware of the pleasures of sex, and I'd explored quite a whole bit of it. And then I started getting into that whole getting back into the God thing, started knowing about God. So by 19, 20, fully explored. I'm not kidding. Fully explored. And I wanted to know more. So it wasn't like I was just exploring based on actual physical sex. I was exploring based on deep research. Like I was reading books. I was Google. Well, at that time there was no Google, but yeah, there was Google. But I was going online looking for many, many things. Not, and the only thing that I always thank God to today that I never ever embarked on was porn. I thank God for my life that I never ever could do to yourself, especially if you're a serious Christian. It is the worst. It would ruin you. And I'm not talking on a perspective of being a serious Christian. At that point, I didn't know, but I was just never drawn to it. But I just wanted to understand that how can this thing be so good and they say you can't do it?
Isn't that the where the rebellious human comes from?
You know, how can it be so good and they say you can't do it? But then I understood you should do it when you get married. But when I saw all the marriages around me and how silly they all were, how terrible they all were. I mean, I remember the summer of when I turned 21, and I said, this summer, I am going to do anything I want with this body. I am going to go full exploration.
Wow.
I thank God every time that I never did that, because I'm sure I would have hated myself right now. I thank God I never did that. But during those times when I learned all the things I learned and researching more about it to understand, and obviously when you're younger, you feel all sorts of things as you're growing. I remember the first time I knew that a shower head can feel good. I was like, what the hell?
Mine was by mistake, and I was like, Jesus, what's going on?
It was by mistake. I was showering and I was washing the thing. To wash. You wash. And that was when I realized, and I was like, and it took a great courage not to even do it, like, constantly, because I knew that if I got caught, I'll be in trouble. So that got caught was the only thing that actually got me rooted, not the understanding of what sex is about and how important it is. So skipping. Met my husband, decided I wanted to be celibate. It wasn't an easy thing to do. By the grace of God, we managed. We got there.
We managed. I like that word.
Yeah, because it wasn't easy. What do you think this is? You know sex, you like the thing. Why would it be easy? It's not easy.
Yeah.
But by the grace of God, we managed. And it was when we got married. Vivian, I don't know if I ever told you this, but can you imagine somebody who was very into it, like, yeah. On that first night, it was the most awful night I've ever had. Even the day I broke my virginity was not compared.
That's the first one where you question, so this celibate, did it work for me or against me?
No, but it did work for me.
Oh,
and
wow.
That was when my eyes was open to the spirituality of sex. And that was when it even got deeper for me. If I'm being honest, it was that day that I actually understood the institution God created, which was sex. That sex, I always say that sex is the next thing to salvation. Sex is so important. Sex is so beautiful. Sex can be so understood and misunderstood. But the moment you understand, and I'm going churchy right now, but that's because I have come from a place of sinfulness, of great, terrible stuff, to a great place now that I understand why God created this great, pleasurable thing, better than chocolate. No. It's true.
Mariam, I'm just happy that as you are talking, your husband is in the same house, because we cannot just leave you. We cannot leave you after all this exploratory conversation today, and there's no husband to help bring it down. Okay, I just wanted to say I acknowledge.
I don't know. He's on the phone right now, though. We'll see.
Yeah, at least you guys are in the same house. So let me ask you a question. So the Collie Closer said even the simple biology is not discussed. I think it's very hard. Some older women, so Mariam, you and I had this conversation. Some older women I know do not know the difference between vulva, vagina, clitoris, urethra. They don't even know their own body. This is so true.
They don't even know that
this is so true.
Gives a different pleasure to your A spot, which is inside your vagina, and all of these things. They have no clue.
So somebody said, Martha said, Mariam, this is for you. So I've heard so much about you, sis. I really want to hear your view on climax. Mariam, please take us to church, the Church of Sex Education.
There are different types of climax. There are different feeling it gives. There are different ways you can get climax. Now, when people say, oh, I came, and then when people say, oh, I had an orgasm, they're actually two different things. An orgasm is that feeling that you get during sex of different places that was touched, or different areas of your body that was touched. The coming is just the typical, like a man comes with the sperm or something. Yeah. And the woman too has a point where she squirts. Yes.
Yes.
It's becoming.
Oh my God. I remember us having that squirting conversation. I was so embarrassed. I was like, it's like you're peeing on yourself. And Mariam was like, no. It's a form of pleasure. I was like, no, it's dirty. She's like, what's dirty? It's coming out of your body. Some of you need friends like Mariam here. You can see that she's a Christian. You can see that she's a pastor. But it does not make it, that's what I mean by people tell you, people show a version of God based on their tradition, their experience. And I'm glad that you turned, and I'm really sorry to hear about your childhood experience of abuse, because this is the first time I've heard. No, I didn't.
Talk about it very freely.
I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm glad that you turned it into something that's a force for good, and you have daughters, so that's brilliant that you can use that.
A lot of people don't. I always say that I must be the only person I know on this earth so far. There's a lot of people on this earth, but I must be the only person I know on this earth who has managed to channel this thing to a positive thing. I don't know anyone else. Most people can't. I don't know what grace God has given me, that it is so not a big deal to me whatsoever. But it is also goes to show about when you walk with God, you'll be amazed what you can get over and how it can be channeled into your strength.
Thank you so much. So Patience said, wow, I'm enjoying this. Haha. Okay. So tell us then, Martha wants to know, and I'm sure the rest of us, because when you were talking about climax and orgasm, guys that are watching me, I'm sure you saw my face going, trying to differentiate the two. Obviously, I've been Mariam's friend for ages, so I know these things. And if I'm confused, I have a speed dial on her. So help us understand, before I interrupted you, what the different parts of the body and what your view on climax, in case women don't know how to, so that they can come away from this YouTube live today really educated and they can educate others.
Okay, so climax, if I'm being honest, is that feeling that keeps you always wanting more. It's that feeling that you remember, because sex sometimes cannot be easy for women, if I'm being honest. Sex always starts in the mind. It is always in the mind. You can climax more than one time during sex. You can climax to the point that you stop sex because you're like, I can't take it. Like, it's so serious. You can climax and also have, like, literally, and then the guy also comes and then you're like, no, I need to go again. It's not a one part type of conversation, if you get what I mean. It's not like a one definite way to talk about it. But one thing I would say about it is it is what keeps you coming back for more for sex. Because like I said, sex is in the mind. And for some women, even if they do like sex, sometimes the journey to get to the point of being penetrated or even allowing themselves to enjoy it can be such a long journey, and it's really not. And the only way to get to that place of climax is finding out what you like, finding out what excites you during sex with your husband. I would say husband because I'm not trying to, I know people who are not married are here, but I would say husband because I'm coming from a Christian perspective. And I don't want to be encouraging fornication.
I totally agree. And the Collie Closet said, it's so refreshing to hear an honest Christian talk about sex. So we're with you, Mariam. We are with you. So take it away.
Okay.
And by the way, Martha is married with 2 kids, if that helps.
Okay, great. Oh, so am I, Martha. So Marian and Martha, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I said, it's that thought that keeps you coming back. It's that feeling that you can hold on to that will encourage you, that even no matter how sometimes you're tired, you got a headache. My husband always says, let me help you. When I say I have a headache, he says, let me help you. You'll release some endorphins and you'll be fine. And I had to, sometimes initially I was annoyed with that thought, but I did realize that during that climax period, you'd be amazed what you can do after you had a headache, and after you have a back pain, you have a leg pain, whatever is wrong with you. You'd be amazed that climax can change your life. It can make you feel better. There's
going to be so much sex going on in some homes tonight, but carry on.
And please let it be married homes in the name of Jesus.
Amen. Right. So the question that comes to my mind, Mariam, is circumcision, female circumcision, and the impact that has on sex. Because I remember for a long time, people were debating, am I circumcised? Am I not circumcised? It was you again. You were the one that described, and you were like, when you get home today, I want you to look at your vagina. I wanted to look at the top part. I wanted to look at how raised or how low. And I went back and I came back to you and you told me the outcome and all of that. So tell me the impact of circumcision on females being able to enjoy sex.
Okay, first of all, thank God my mom managed to quickly make sure I wasn't circumcised, but I think my cousins were. Now, one thing I have learned from people who I do know who were circumcised, there are different types of circumcision and how differently it could affect you.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is that apart from the clitoris is the only thing on the surface of your vagina that helps you to enjoy sex. It's the only thing on that surface. The labia, all of those lip areas, whatever, those things are nowhere near the things that pleasures you. Everything else is happening inside, and you have your spots inside that can pleasure you. There is a particular, for example, for women, if you I don't want you fingering yourself, but you can explore yourself to know yourself.
The day Mariam told me about this exploring yourself, I was like, why would I do that? She was like, excuse me, wouldn't you want to know before? Mariam was one person that made me come to the point where I can literally write an essay on how to get me to where I need to get to cloud 2 million and come back.
You do need to know that because
she told me.
You're teaching,
she touched me.
Mean, the guy doesn't always know. Guys always come with a hate game, like yeah, but he might be doing the wrong thing. He thought whatever that worked for that girl that I was with would work for this one. No, it's different. Some girls might not even like you putting your hands up in a certain position to feel that. I don't even know what that bit is called, but there's this little lump right in the middle when you put your hands through and you move. So you put your hands in and then you push it forward. I have to find out the science of these things. There's that little bulb in your vagina that gives so much pleasure when it's played with it in a certain way. I think that's the A spot. I'm not sure. You know, they have U, A, and whatever.
G and all of them spots. Yeah.
But that, for example, is another area in which you can definitely get orgasm. So which means that just because you've been circumcised doesn't necessarily mean you cannot enjoy sex. The clitoris is the only missing part that would have pleasured you anyway in that frontal area, because the clitoris can be rubbed on the skin and you can be pleasured. It can be actually fumbled with and you can be pleasured, yes, but there are bits inside that the penis can also like touch, or the finger of the man can touch to give pleasure. So just because you're circumcised doesn't mean you close your mind and think that, oh, I will never enjoy sex is no longer for me. I feel sorry for those who have been, because it's not really a nice thing to be done to you. But I do know that it doesn't have to stop your pleasures. Your boobies are there. There are different ways you play with the boobs that creates a sensation. But remember that sex is in the mind. If you have made a decision that I'm not going to enjoy this thing is going to hurt, this thing feels a certain way, you won't enjoy it until tomorrow. You would never understand the pleasures and the beautiful creation God created, which was sex, which was made for marriage, which unfortunately the devil has perverted, and glory to God, we've all done our bits in it. It's true.
I love you, Mariam.
But if you had made me save earlier, I wouldn't have understood all of these things. I won't be able to share with young people around me.
Yeah.
Even the importance of being celibate, even when you were worldly and you were having sex, the importance of keeping your virginity. It is all important. So if I hadn't gone through it, I wouldn't even be here to say it. I'll probably be one of those novices as well who, shies away from it. And I'm glad I'm not.
Thank you so much. So so you're a mother and you've had 2 kids, right? Yeah. And I was there for your 2 kids. Yep. So Martha is asking, after vagina childbirth, the vagina is not the same and the G-spot feels like it's shifted.
Not true.
What advice can you give to make things come back? Maybe Martha, that's the reality.
Martha, it is all in your mind. That thing hasn't changed. It is all in your mind. Like, okay, for example, I developed prolapse. Now, prolapse is something that happens for different reasons. I developed it because my children are very strong human beings who don't give me any warnings. And within an instant, I could be having this conversation with you, and next minute, they're pushing their heads out of me, which is quite alien to the body. The body finds it very, spontaneous. So it changes your organs. Your organs feel destabilized. And this is something I have to live with for the rest of my life. By the grace of God, I don't have it to the extreme level, and it hasn't even affected my sex life. But when I first had it, I thought it would affect my sex life. I was nervous about it, and it started to work. I started to shy away from sex because I thought this thing is making me tired. I can feel the pain. I can feel this. All these things that comes with it. And it started working. It started making me not want to have sex. And my husband, who was so blessed to have a woman who wants to have sex with him sometimes 3 times a day, was barely having none in a week. And it was all in my mind. And I woke up one day and I made the decision. I said, no. When I was in the world, I know on the wonders that I did. Now that I'm married, that is legal, and I understand the beauty of why God created it for marriage, I must do it right. I will do it well, and I will do it till I can no longer move my hips. And I made a decision that day, and I said, no. We're going back to how we used to be. And it started from the mind. Remember, from the mind. This thing hasn't changed. There is all these people who do tightening and whatever, it's not true. It hasn't changed. It hasn't. It is your decision to know that you can control your vagina through your head. You can clench it. You can release it through your head. So if you feel like you were not tight enough, there are ways you can clench yourself during sex, which is what? It's actually called pelvic floor exercise. More pelvic floor exercise will strengthen your vagina to make you feel that feeling of tightness again. Constant pelvic floor exercise is the best thing you could ever do for yourself as a wife. It's the best thing. It gives that feeling and that assurance that I'm still tight. I still feel good. But during sex, pelvic floor exercise is actually a very good tool to use during sex.
Yeah.
Extremely good tool. You can use it. It sends your husband in a different direction if you know how to use it very well. Controlling it. How you even in the rhythm you use it. So I must assure you, Martha, that I promise you, get it out of your mind to think that your vagina is expanded, whatever. I had stitches. Actually, no, I didn't get stitches. I was meant to, and I decided against it because I said, they asked me, did I want it? And I said, no. If you're telling me that it's not so big of a tear, it will heal. Your body heals. And obviously, I did the whole sitting on hot water, but that was for my own healing process, not because I wanted my vagina to tighten. It was just for my own healing process so the blood clots and everything can quickly exit and I can be back to normal. But I can assure you that I certainly do not think that the vagina changes. It is how you use it. It's like a man who has a very small penis. It can work. It's how he uses it.
Ooh, that is a topic we might want to broach. So, Collie Closet has just said, I agree. How can you educate your husband or boyfriend if you don't know yourself? That's a very good point. Collie Closet says she has to go, but she would love to watch the replay because it's a great conversation. Thank you, girl, for all your contribution. Martha, Mariam. Okay. Martha is saying, you, such an eye-opener. God bless you. Thank you so much. Sugar Boss Lady is saying, put the mic on, like Mariam, louder. Now, you just touched on an interesting, in fact, ladies, if you have friends who have given birth and they're saying sex doesn't work, if you really love them, send this YouTube live to them now. And if we need to bring Mariam back, tell us in the comment section. Martha and Mariam again, you guys are taking over this YouTube live, right? Martha is saying, I will be needing her number. No, sorry, I charge a fee. I'm really sorry. Is she your friend? No, sorry. So when I tell you people I have a platform and I have information to give you, you believe me next time, right? If you have not subscribed, by the way, I have a fee right now. For Mariam just coming onto my channel, we've just gone to a whole new level. Sir, you can't have her number, please, because she's my friend and not yours. If we need to bring her back, you people will pay entry fee. Now, I'm only joking. So, if you have friends, genuinely, I've just messaged a few people now that I know. If you have married friends or friends that have children that are saying sex is just blah, 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 we are being taken to school right now. And Mariam, Martha again is saying she's now your friend. No, she's not.
fully. It's fine.
No, sorry, you're not allowed to be her friend. So talk to us. So you just touched on an interesting topic, because I've been having conversations. I had this conversation recently about penis sizes and how that can impact sex life, and people talked about different types of penises and different, actually the race impacts the size of the penis, and I was like, I never thought about it. And they were talking about different races, African descent versus Caucasian and French, and I was like, in fact, that girl just opened my eyes that night, and I was like, I never thought about it. I just thought everybody had a sensible size of penis, whatever. And so tell me, or tell us, teach us, talk to us about how penis size might not reflect on a woman being pleasurable. Because I want to believe that some people feel that the penis has to fill the vagina hole wall, doesn't it? So what happens if it's swimming in the process?
Which is why I did say that it's about a woman who can help. It takes two. It's not one person. Don't expect that the man is going to throb inside you and he's gonna get you all the pleasures and everything's gonna happen just by the twinkle of an eye. It doesn't happen like that. It just doesn't. You do need to do some work. It's both of you. If you know that he has maybe you feel or you think it's small, now you could, for example, rather if it is, to be fair, there is no proper 2 + 2 4.
Yeah.
Every couple is different.
Yeah.
And every couple makes a decision on how to make this work. And talking about it is your first state.
I agree.
I always usually, for example, ask young people who've just recently married, who maybe have not had sex before together.
Yeah.
Don't be so quick to penetrate. Sorry, I was drinking something that's gone to my throat.
Oh, sorry about that.
Oh, great. Okay, so I always say that explore yourself for the first night or two. Play with each other.
Because there's intimacy is more than sex, is my belief. Intimacy is in the conversation. Intimacy is the exploring of each other's body. Intimacy is the telling each other what you think based on what you know. That if I get touched in this place, or this is what my nipples does to me, or when you kiss me, or do you see what I mean? It's those almost going from top, introducing yourself, but in a sexual context first, before you jump straight into penetration. That's what you taught me.
Okay, keep saying that, okay?
Well, I didn't mean you taught me as in you did it with me. For context, guys, it was education, okay? Don't go and misquote us.
When that is established, Vivian, is established, then you know that, okay, this is the size we're working with. Yeah. Like I told you earlier about the clenching. Now, if you feel you need, because it does, I mean, I don't know why we think that the vagina is such a big ocean and you just dropping it. I don't understand why that thought keeps coming.
I agree. That's such a silly thought, because sometimes when you want to wash, you can't even get in.
Exactly. But pelvic floor is your best friend during sex. And if, for example, you do think the man doesn't have a big penis enough, and no matter how small the penis is or thin the penis is, it's not less than average size. You know? It just needs working with, which means that this thing is still in my throat.
Do you want to take a moment?
You know when it's just hanging in there?
Yeah, take a moment. Take a drink, please. Guys, show Mariam some love in the comment section.
And water, whatever.
Yeah, just take a moment.
Yeah.
Take a moment, please.
It's not going. It's tickly. It's not going.
Oh, it's tickly.
So like I said, working with it is the best solution I have to this. There is no perfect math to it. But I believe, I mean, like I said, I had experiences back in the day. And yeah, there were some that I was actually having this conversation recently. And I was telling a friend, what was I thinking? I was like, what was I thinking? And I was like, okay, this was this size. And I remember, didn't know what to do with it at that time.
Yeah.
And I was just like, now I was reflecting. I must have been 17. And I was like, why didn't I not know that at that time? And I'm glad I didn't, because obviously I would have learned too much. But at that time, I was just thinking, now that I was thinking about it, that, oh my God, at that time, that felt small. That it felt so big. you know, is it about being big? Sometimes it's so big they don't even know what to do with it, and it hurts. You can't even
It hurts. It hurts. I agree.
I was privileged for a friend of mine one day. He's a friend, by the grace of God, nothing ever happened between us. He was a friend. But you know what the shape of a extension plug looks like? You know the long extension plug that has like maybe 4 plugs on it?
Yeah.
Literally, this guy had his penis was literally that wide and very chunky.
Ow.
And moaned. I don't know. Like, I was flabbergasted. I could not believe this.
No, I don't want that.
But he's like, my girlfriends leave me because of this.
Yeah.
Because it's so big, they get scared. Now, a vagina can fit the head of a man. Do you know that?
Yeah, because a vagina gives birth to a baby.
Exactly. So, which means that this thing can stretch. It can mold. It can do a lot of things. It is how you use it. Pelvic floor, once again, no matter how big or small. But if you're already so pleasured, you won't even be worried about the size or whatever. Because by the time you're all ready and the guy's ready for you, everything would, by the grace of God, manipulate itself and you're happy with each other. But it takes practice. It takes patience. It takes learning about each other. It takes you understanding how to use your pelvic floor, how to use it in different rhythm, and the clenching to also help it, for it to give you that best feeling. And at the end of the day, just because it looks small now, when it's erected, it would be hard. So it will be hard enough to sustain you. Now, there are also many other things out there you can get. You can get rings. Rings sustains a man's hardness for a long time. So which means that if you feel like maybe it's too small, whatever, the ring will make that, will sustain the hardness. It will reduce the blood flow in a way that the guy will stay hard for longer. Because usually when a man enters into the vagina wall, he starts to, maybe it doesn't shrink, but it just gets a bit softer compared to when he wasn't in the first place. So using things like the rings can help. Using even condoms can help because they're restricting blood flow stuff.
So sorry, I'm sure you're watching my video and I'm going, that is new. Describe the ring. I've never heard this bit before.
So it's literally a plastic ring that there are different types, and even if I'm not kidding, even go to the pound shop, you'll find one.
So it's almost like, you know, the top when you roll a condom, the top
so
of
the bottom bit.
Yeah.
How that looks, but a thicker version.
Okay, that's useful.
The thicker version can be put in different all the way down to a certain point, enough for the man to sustain his hardness. So which means that even though no matter what size it is, when he's inside you, he will still retain that hardness.
Oh my God, Mariam, what you just shared is news to me. And if I think about the person I was having this conversation with, I am just in awe as to what knowledge can shift perspective. Because I remember walking out of that conversation and saying, woe betide the woman with the man with a tiny penis.
No,
that's all I thought. But I've never heard about ring. As much as I feel like I now have enough education to at least to a level that is needed. I've never heard about ring. And I did not know that when a man penetrates, his penis goes softer. Is that, might that be the reason why they might not last as long inside?
Yes, because, sometimes it's all in the mind. It's even the pleasure that makes them even do that. It's like their body just already wants to just let it go. It's like, whoa, just let it go. But you have to also be able to help. So women also, you have your part to play. You can tell when your man is ready. You can control it. You can exit a little. You can pull out a little. You are
that is the wickedness in a good way.
Yes, but it helps because he helps him also to
sustain. Yeah.
It helps him to sustain and to learn. Because some men also don't actually have education. All they knew is bang, 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 thank you, man. Yeah. But they also need to be educated on how to sustain, how to withdraw, how to go back in, how to throb. There are different rhythms and techniques on throbbing and how it can help you to sustain, how it can elongate sex. Like for me, for example, people who tell me that they need to have sex for an hour to enjoy it, I'm like, wow.
I don't understand, but if you tell me about the whole intimacy bit, yes, but like throbbing inside me for an hour, please, can I just remove my womb and give it to you? So you
there are days you might want that.
Yeah, true.
It is possible. True. But I don't think you need a whole hour for you to say you're enjoying it. Because that means you're taking a whole hour to tell your mind, enjoy it.
Ooh.
I mean, there are so many positions you can have.
That is so true. No, hold on.
So quickly.
That is so true. So it's taking you long because you're telling you, that's how long it's taking your mind to process that this is good and this is pleasurable. Whoa.
Yes. Because you haven't even been able to even understand how to use your body to maneuver during sex to make you enjoy it. Like there's some sexual positions that you could literally have in 2 minutes and you are both so pleasured.
Yes. Can you give us some insight into those sexual
Doggy
positions?
style is the best example.
Which one?
Doggy style.
Oh yes, I can agree to that.
Best example.
I can agree to that. Yes, ma'am.
It is the best example to use because most women actually don't really enjoy doggy styles. They don't. They really don't. They feel like they don't get any results out of it. So they already put their minds that I'm not going to enjoy this. But it's not true.
You keep referring to this mind thing, and I totally agree because everything starts from the mind. And just by way of feedback, Patience is saying, wow, I'm learning so much. Sugar Boss Lady is saying, I am jotting things down. You are taking us to school. Mariam, thank you so much. So I'm just thinking about what you said. It's all in the mind.
Yeah.
And you said doggy style is a good example where people can just go straight and 2 minutes you're out and all of that. And women don't enjoy it. Why do you think women don't enjoy it?
Once again, the mind. But it's enjoyable because you might not, you see, that's why I said orgasm and coming are two different things. You could orgasm from, orgasms at different levels. They're at a point where it's so enjoyable, you don't actually climax. Climax is when you get to the point you're like, you're screaming, you're, making all the sounds, whatever sounds you make.
Yeah.
But having an orgasm just in between, little spots, little splats, little this. Those are the little orgasms building up to the climax. So that feeling, for me, is up to you to decide that feeling is so satisfactory that you didn't have to come, you didn't have to climax.
Yeah.
So sometimes when I do that, for me, just that feeling is enough. That even though I've not climaxed, I know that I'm going to get you through maybe when you come back from work or whatever next time. I'm going to get my turn. So I understand that. I've made up my mind that it's okay, that I'm still going to enjoy it. Yes, I didn't get to be fingered. I didn't get to be, my clitoris didn't get to be played with. But one thing I also learned, which was maybe recently, maybe in the last 5 years or so, was the balls can go a long way during doggy style. How you position your body during a doggy style with the balls can go a long way. Now, I don't know how to teach you that, but
you cannot just drop that germ and then tell the whole classroom that you don't know how to teach us.
I don't know how to, I'm not even sure how to explain it. but you can grab those balls and use it to get to your clitoris somehow and throb on it. And with the man pen, I don't know how to explain it. I do it differently all the time. I don't know how to explain it. But it's the honest truth. It goes a long way. It really does. Every part of the body God created was wonderful and has its purpose. The balls has a purpose. It's not just to be there doing absolute nothing during sex. It has a purpose. It can be used during doggy style. How you throb on it. How you... As the man is throbbing, the balls is moving, is jingling. So you have to also figure out a way to position your body while he's throbbing to allow the balls to juggle and do its bits.
I know this kind of thing. You need practical. You need to practice. So I can get why you're going. I don't know how to explain it to you. Wow. Gosh, I am learning so much.
Sex is an amazing institute God created. I tell you, Vivian, it's mind-blowing. You can never know it all. Just like God. Honestly, I have to ask my girls. Some of them are watching right now, and they're there commenting, and I could hear, and said some of the things.
Yep.
And I'm not kidding you. They know I say this, that after the whole God factor salvation, the next thing, honestly, that God created that you cannot fathom, you cannot comprehend, you cannot put your hands all around it, is sex. God created this thing so beautifully. We have misused it. We have not allowed ourselves to understand the purpose of it. And when you do, you'll be amazed what you can learn so quickly, how beautiful it can be, how enjoyable it can be.
So, Mariam, final thoughts. I know you've talked about, and I understand it because I've had one-on-one conversations with you, and you've kindly helped teach me how to explore my body and know what worked. And over the years, things kind of change. What would you say to somebody who has never actually explored their own body, and they're Christian, and they're kind of not sure whether exploring their body to them means masturbation until they have a shower head experience?
Okay. When I say explore, what I mean is get a mirror.
Yeah.
Open your legs. Look at it. Don't be disgusted by it. Number one tick.
Yeah.
Don't look at it and be like, what is that? There are sometimes your vagina looks very reddish, and sometimes it looks just pinkish. There's sometimes you can actually see that thing I was talking about, that A-spot thing I was talking about, drooping a bit lower than usual. There are different times. I'm not asking you to put your fingers in yourself and just be, trying to pleasure yourself. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying get a mirror, look at it. Look at it yourself. Get comfortable in what the word vagina is for yourself. So that when you do get married, and by the grace of God, that man is ready to explore you, you'll be ready to be explored. You will look at it and you will realize that it's not ugly to that man. It doesn't look wrong to him. There are different types of ways a vagina looks like, just like a different types of way a penis looks like.
Yeah.
Your vagina might not look like your next.
Yeah.
Vagina is a vagina. There's nothing wrong with it. So looking at it, putting your hands in to see all those things. I'm not saying be throbbing yourself. To see that all of those things exist. Now learn how to also do pelvic floor exercises by having a mirror in front of you and doing that. Knowing that you're not clenching your head, you're not clenching your shoulders. That is what I mean by explore. Nothing further than that. You don't need to be playing with your clitoris to know that no, you can learn that when you get married, which is why you should explore yourselves in that beginning time, rather than, just throwing yourself into it and then you're put off for life. What I mean is get to know that it is not ugly, it is beautiful, it is nicely created. I mean, you would even know what you like, how you like to be shaved.
Yes.
I like to be complete Brazilian, Hollywood. I like to be,
you would know what you'd like to look like when you're naked, so that when you get into that context, you're not ashamed. There is no shame about it, even because I feel like there is something around. You have to have flat stomach and hourglass shape and all of that to look in the mirror. I have a mirror. The way I look at my body, you would think I'm writing an exam or I have to report to somebody about it.
My girls are 6 and going to be 8 now, and the other time, for example, once in a while, I get them and I say, open your legs, and I get a cotton bud, and we clean right deeply in between it. Most people don't even know they're meant to do that. It's just like your buttonhole. Most people don't even know they have to clean their buttonhole.
Yeah.
You have no idea the amount of dirt and stench that could be hidden in your belly button.
Belly button. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
The same for your vagina. We're not allowed to use soap to clean our vaginas. Like people who use Femme Fresh. I'm like, yeah, you're meant to use it on your top part of your vagina, of your top skin, on where the hair grows on the top, not inside it. So it's just meant to smell fresh and different, just on that top bit. Not that you're putting it in between and you're fighting to wash the thing. No. So once in a while you get a cotton bud and you clean in between it. You pull your clip to the left and you clean. You pull your clip to the right and you clean. That is why sometimes the men say, oh, it smells or whatever. The truth of the matter is the thing has its own fantastic.
It has its own, it has its own.
We can do about that, and depending on your ovulation time and things like that, you realize, and you need to smell it. You need to know: is it eggy? Is it gray? Is it yellow? Is it egg white? Is it yolk-like? You need to know different of your discharges to even know what is happening to your body.
Do you know that is so true? That is so true.
To finger yourself, never. Don't you dare do that. That is also another demon you don't want in your life.
Oh yeah, you started, you can't stop. People talk about buying sex toys. I'm like,
when in the future. So please don't go into that.
I say to people, it's not a bad thing. You can walk into a shop and get a sex toy. Oh, it's not a problem. They sell it to you. You're an adult. But when you start and you cannot finish and you cannot end it, and then it impacts your sexual life in the context of a marriage relationship, then you are on your own.
And and that's why, but Vivian, do you now see when I'm saying that sex in marriage is what God made it for? That when you're in the world and you're getting away with all of the things, the devil says nothing. It's like, it's cool, it's fine, it's fine. And when you hit marriage, then he brings that same thing into you and it ruins your marriage. It ruins everything about your marriage. Everything.
I agree.
I know a lady once who told me that she had masturbated for so long, and the day she stopped, and she said she couldn't bear a child for 8 years. The day the Holy Spirit just enlightened her that because you've been masturbating and watching porn, this is why this is happening to you. She stopped. Within 2 weeks, she conceived.
Yeah, that's what I was saying about the pros and cons, and nobody's saying do this and don't do this. The Bible is clear on what it says. However, the impact is with you, like it lives with you. Yeah. So another thing that I noticed is
people don't even associate it to it. They don't understand it. They don't associate it to it, and that's the problem. And because the church is not talking about it, the church just says, he's a demon. No, don't do this. They don't go deeper.
They don't tell you why. They don't tell you why. So another thing that
even though in our church we talk about sex, but you'd be amazed how a whole lot of people, and I would say 60%, because nobody's ready for. I mean, if I'm being honest, these things I talk about it with my church girls, yes, and I talk about it outside. But I don't think my denomination is ready for me in this kind of topic.
Vymartfam, we are ready for you, Mariam. If you want to come back, we will create. In fact, it will not be my face on the flyer. It will be just sex talk with Mariam. Period. As in, when I come here, I will just put you here and I'll just put you on the chair and walk away.
In the name of Jesus.
And even me, I will be listening. I will be a student on the matter. So, you just talked about smelling your vagina, knowing what the discharge, the different scents. I realized that I'm now, obviously, from observing, there's a lot, I observe my body a lot, as well as I observe my mind. There's a lot from observing my body, my mind, I almost know, I can tell you when I'm ovulating. I don't even need to check if there's a discharge or not. But actually, mine is a bit of a funny one, because when I'm ovulating, it comes with a sharp pain. That's how I know first. And it's middle of the month, and I'm just like, oh, what's going on? Is there again? And I've had surgery at some point where they had to check all my fertility juices to make sure everything is right, and everything is right over there. But I know, and it's not just because of the pain. There's a way my body feels. It almost feels like I'm having another period. I can tell you when the egg releases in my body. That's because I have spent the time to observe my body. Like sometimes I wake up in the morning and I touch my breasts. And I'm like, it's softer today. Exactly, because of cancer and all of those things. So as I was softer today, my nipple is softer today. And then I make a mental note. And then the next time it's not the same way, I make a mental note. And then next time I check and I'm like, oh, during this time of the month, so So it's not like you go into a context of having a sexual intimacy.
No.
And you can't even say, hello, my name is Vivian. If you do this, this, and this, I will get here, or this is what I like, or this is what I don't think I enjoy. You just go expecting the man to know everything. I don't understand. I'm confused.
And that's where the problem comes. And that's why after a while, that's it. It ends there. It dies there. And I always say that sex is the only thing that will also, when you are 60, 70, and you're still married to this man, and 80 comes, by 75, 80, and you guys are really, I mean, to be fair, I know an 82-year-old man who wants to have sex, who does have sex. So it's not like it's not possible at 82 to have sex. It is possible. Once again,
I was close to people in their late 70s that were still having sex. I'm not going to call names, please. This is a public space.
Yeah. So
but it happens.
It's possible, but it's because that person has decided that. I'm not going to say because I'm old and I've got a hip replacement, I won't even give it a go. That's not true. It's in the mind. It's in the mind. Everything is in the mind. And I mean, as I sit here, I have my days. I mean, I always tell my husband that he's spoiled. But I do have my days, and I'm just like, babe, not today. And it's not often, because, it's just that sometimes there are days that you're really unwell, you're too tired. But, I must be honest with you, I've actually not been very well in this last 1 week. And I'm telling you, I've been even more horny. And I'm just, you thought that I'll be sleepy. And I want to...
Because it's helping you cure the back pain and the headache.
Exactly. My husband said endorphins.
And for those of you who are contemplating celibacy, let me give you something I learned from speaking to somebody, and I think it's also true. almost the same level of endorphins you get from sex, you can get whilst exercising. So if you're contemplating celibacy and you're wondering, how am I going to get endorphins? Just go and knock yourself out with exercising. You would release the endorphins. Until then, ditto.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful topic.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Honestly, the comments here are saying, it's so refreshing to hear a Christian person talk honestly and decently about sex education. Like, I am so beyond pleased. I mean, everybody has gone mute because they're all just writing down. So guys, come out of your hiding. Ask Mariam your last everybody now has the opportunity to ask Mariam one final question, because it's nearly 10 o'clock and she's a mother of 2. I need to let her go. Please ask Mariam your final questions in the comment section, and Mariam, we might need you back.
By the grace of God, I'll do my best.
We might need you back. I'll let you pick a day. We're trying to do this on Wednesdays. I know that your church service is Wednesdays as well, but I think we need you back. I'm saying might because I'm trying to be polite. We're gonna need you back, darling. So if you think you want to bring back Pastor Mariam, please put it in the comment, but please type your questions. Let me think of a question that comes to my mind is, how do you balance investing in the right lingerie to appeal to your partner without knowing whether that's what will appeal to them or not, your husband or not?
That's not for me. In my household, we are called butt naked family.
That's why I'm asking you, because people are saying you have to buy the right sexy lingerie. I'm like, what happened to walking naked?
Do you like sexy lingerie?
Me?
Okay, I'm asking my husband.
I was going to say, I don't understand why that question is for me.
He shook his head. He says, like, no. Like, that's not even his concern. Like, he's one of those ones who would never even tell you that you look nice with clothes on. It's when you take it off, people are like, oh, babe, you look so good. Like, that's when he sees you look nice. You go out the whole day, everyone has told you how amazing you look. And you're just waiting for that one person just to tell you how good you look. And then you take off your clothing and he's like, you look so good. And you're like, oh, in the name. I mean, initially when we first got married, it was the most painful thing. It was annoying. But I understood it. So the only thing I would say, I do put on some of my old ones that I did buy. It's not like I don't. And like, I deliberately wear shorts around the house.
Yeah.
People are wearing pajamas just to kind of put a sense of teasing, a sense of, to be wanted. So yes, I would do that, but that's not really his main thing, But if you're butt naked, he's happy. He doesn't care if you're wearing clothes.
So guys, please, if you don't have money for Ann Summers,
that doesn't mean you should do that, because there are times like there was one day which is very recent even, I just put on a nice panty on, only the panty, my boobies were there, and I was just giving him a dance in that, and that was like nice enough. So it's not like you can't do that.
Yes, girl.
It's not like you can't put on some nice lingerie to give your husband a dance, or just to be pretty just before sex. It's not. I mean, the other time I remember he even chose the lingerie I was gonna wear, because for him, maybe in his head it's like, I know she's wearing that lingerie, so he's already preparing his mind that way. Fine. So it's not like you should completely stay away from it. It depends on what works for your partner. But I remember that initially when I used to do that, I mean, I have a wardrobe full of those things, but there was one Christmas, and I think this was our first Christmas together. Oh my God, it drove him wild. I bought this lingerie that, the one I call them quick entry, which has a hole underneath it.
I love those ones.
Yes, we had guests. But I put it on deliberately. I was wearing this for that particular Christmas. It was our first Christmas. I put it on and I was wearing a dress, and my dad had called on the phone, and that was an opportunity to go into the room. I was like, yes, this is the time. And I've been wearing this lingerie the whole day. He didn't even know it. So I was prepared. I had my plan in my head. So as soon as we got in the room and we were done with the phone call with my dad, I just pulled up my dress and bent over in this panty, and oh my goodness, that was the end of the situation. So it's not like lingeries don't have an effect.
Yeah.
They do. There are ways to use them. In my house, it's not really important, but I still know how to use it when I do want to spice things up, if that makes sense.
Thank you so much. So somebody said, look good naked, no need for such sexy lingerie. Please don't spend your money. Don't keep buying everything that flashes on Instagram and say you have to be sexy.
What the person likes. Why are you disturbing your life?
True. So thank you for that. So Martha said, please bring Mariam back. So Mariam, we're coming back for a part 2. Martha also said naked is the real deal. So Patience is asking, is it hygienic to have sex during your monthly cycle, when you're menstruating?
Personal decision.
I have.
It's a personal decision.
I was only worried about the sheets getting bad, but I have. And it wasn't terrible.
Most of the time the sheet doesn't even go bad.
No, because everything goes back inside.
Yeah, it doesn't even go that bad. Yeah, you might have spurts of parts, but and then apart from that, if you're really that concerned, have a very good warm hot shower, and that controls your period coming so quickly as it would have normally. And apart from that, obviously, if it's in the first day or 2,
it's heavy.
I wouldn't advise it.
Yeah, it's heavy.
Not that I wouldn't advise it. Like I said, it's your personal opinion. But if you're the type who's going to be like, oh, it's bloody everywhere, then don't do it in the first day or 2.
True.
Give it the first day or 2 to rest, and then you can flow from there. But it depends on both parties. If your husband is comfortable with it, absolutely a fine thing to do. Crossing the Red Sea is not wrong.
Let's just call it, is it okay to cross the Red Sea?
Yeah, it's your personal choice. There's no biblical explanation about it. The denomination I belong to has never objected to it, ever. But always advised.
Am I assuming this, or is it in the Old Testament that when a woman is on her monthly cycle, she shouldn't go to church? It's in the Bible. You're classed as unclean. So perhaps that's also where Patience might be coming from. I don't know. I think I've read that.
I've never read that far, so I don't know.
I don't know if I'm making it up, but I kind of think it's in the Bible. Maybe it's in my Bible in my head, the one I'm going to write. Cool.
Maybe he has shed some light. What do you think?
Okay.
What do you think? Crossing the Red Sea.
Crossing the Red Sea.
Yeah, it says it is up to the people.
The Bible do say that.
Okay. Let me bring it down so maybe they can hear it.
Ah! We have Mariam's husband on the issue. Welcome, sir.
The Bible says what?
They shouldn't really cross. Like, it's not good. In the Old Testament, it's not good for a woman to have sex with a wife if they're on the menstruating.
Right.
But, I mean, the Bible also, Jesus said that the law, he didn't come to uphold the law, but he is the law. So, in that sense, the law has been negated.
Yeah.
So, you don't really follow the law to the letter, per se, because the law is in your heart, and Jesus will teach you based on the Holy Spirit will move you as per whether it's right or wrong. So personally, I feel like it's up to you and your spouse that you're with. If you feel like that's something that you can deal with, then by all means go about it. Because in the church that we're in, there's nothing as wrong crossing the Red Sea. It depends on how your spouse will see it, and how they will view it, and how you yourself will see it and view it as well. So I don't think there's anything wrong in that sense.
Thank you so much for your contribution. Thank you for joining our life at such short notice, Pastor. And honestly, as he's just said, it's up to your decision. The Old Testament talks about it, and the New Testament, Jesus came and aborted the law. So whatever works for you. Sugar Bus Lady also said, let's search the scripture.
To you though, Vivian.
Go for it.
We have a book called The Model Marriage for our denomination, and let me just read some few things about it that our bishop has written, and according to his understanding of it. It says that if the husband and wife are separated for long periods and have a rare opportunity for a brief sleepover, it would be cruel to rob them of this rare and infrequent opportunity to have sex. So this is talking about reasons why it may be necessary to have sex during menstruation.
So context is if they've been separated for a long time and they're just passing by and the woman is just in the middle of the Red Sea, please remove that ocean and just do what you need to do.
It says again, if her husband has been away for a long time and has just come back only to live again, if the husband is going to be away for a long time, if there is an uncontrollable desire for sex, say what I'm about to say, but I remember when I had my second daughter, and was it the second day? I was so wanting it. My husband was like, "No way." I said, "Yes way." I was like, "Look, if I don't get this right now, I won't feel fine." Like, that's how I felt. I had never had that feeling before.
Wow.
I mean, just after having a baby and you're flowing, I was like, "What the?" I don't know what came over me, but I knew that if I didn't go through it, I would have been so angry. So I literally forced it on myself.
I'm sure he was feeling sorry for you that you just had a baby, but in your mind, please don't feel sorry for me. Let me decide for myself.
It's an uncontrollable desire. And it says the things to do if necessary to have sex during menstruation is a woman must have a wash of the vagina just before sex, which will result in very little or no blood in the vagina. And this is a medical doctor as well. Our bishop is also a medical doctor who has written this book.
And that book is quite detailed. Please tell us the name of the book. Some people might need to read it.
Model Marriage is on Amazon as well.
Okay.
It says the sex act should be a quick one. The man could use a condom. There should be thorough washing afterwards, obviously. But yeah, that's like our take on. I mean, there are scriptures around it.
Yeah, so somebody's just, Sugar Boss Ladies just said Leviticus 20 verse 18. So guys, go and search your scripture and make up your own mind.
15:9, it says, and if a woman have an issue, and her issue is her flesh with blood, she shall be put apart 7 days, and whosoever touches her
is unclean.
But it says in that scripture, it says during the sexual menstruation, though it was forbidden. However, we are not under wait, come on, you guys, please. It says then we are under all the different laws. A good example of a law that we clearly do not implement is the law of death to all non-virgins who marry. I mean, I would have been dead by now. So,
thank God for the grace of God.
Saying that yes, even though we're not subject to some of these laws. So there's Deuteronomy 22, 20, 21 as well. So everything that the bishop has written in this book has scripture backing.
Yeah. And Leviticus 20 verse 18, Sugar Boss Ladies just highlighted. Oh my God, guys, we have to end this chat today. It's past 10. I need to respect Marian's time. Marian, thank you so much.
God bless
you. Thank you so much.
I was able to join today because I know you've had so many of these. And
I have.
I didn't even have a meeting with my people today.
Oh, I'm so grateful you were able to join, because honestly, you took the conversation to a whole new level that I hadn't anticipated, but I know I asked God to help us get to where we need to get to today. So thank you so much, darling. Have a lovely, lovely evening.
Love you.
Love you too. Bye. So, ladies, we're going to end this today. I've had a swell time. I don't know what to say. I just feel like I'm going to go and lie down and let all of this information, both the new ones that I've learned today about the ring. What else did I learn? The size doesn't matter. What else did I learn? They're just all in my head. Like, they need to simmer. And you guys have said we need to bring Mariam back. I agree. We need to bring her back. But you guys need to send me questions that we will send to her, and then she'll tell us the date. So if you're not following me on Instagram, it is the same channel title. It's Vmart. Follow me on there. Send me DMs with your questions. If you're not subscribed to this channel, Auntie, we just gave you 2 hours of free lecture. I are still not subscribed. What are you? Are you a friend or an enemy? Click subscribe. And I shoot videos. I upload videos here every Sunday, 5:30 p.m. and every Thursday. But we just started this YouTube live every Wednesday because I have church on Thursdays. That's the reason. There's no other reason. There's no God told me to have this on Wednesday. I have church on Thursdays for my spiritual health. So that's why I have this on Wednesdays. And we enjoyed last week, and I feel like we've had a great time tonight. Next week's topic, I am thinking something along the lines of something I shared on my Instagram story again this morning. If you're not following me on Instagram, please follow me on there. I'm thinking about talking about being a people pleaser and not being able to deal with conflicts. That is a topic that has come up my mind. That's something I've learned about myself. I've become aware in the month of June, and I'm contemplating whether we should bring that as a topic for next Wednesday. So let me know. Send me a DM on Instagram. If you have my personal number, send me a WhatsApp. And if you have any other topics that you feel is sensitive, that Christian girls don't talk about, please send me a DM. I have a cohort of Christian girls who are not afraid or ashamed to talk about topics, and that's how I grew, and that's the reason why I'm confident to talk about most topics, because I have an army of people behind me that say, actually, why is this a taboo? Why is this a taboo? So I'm gonna shut up here because it's past midnight. Martha, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Honestly, I have learned as much as I have given. I don't feel like I've come here today and I've poured out. And it's so interesting because I had a really tiring day at work today, and I was just like, oh, why did I make today my YouTube live day? But the moment I put this top on and put a makeup on, the YouTube Vivian was awake. And what would it have been if we didn't have tonight's so you know what, I'm gonna stay consistent, but you guys are gonna help me grow this channel. You're gonna help me and support my videos that I put out, and when I come on live, you're gonna tell your friends that you feel it would be needed for them to hear it. So to all my Vmat fam, I love you right back. Thank you so much for joining. Have a lovely night rest, and bring the suggestions for future topics. We're gonna have Mariam back. Mariam, thank you so much. You blessed us tonight. You took us to church. You took it away. So thank you so much, and have a beautiful night rest. This is live recording. It will still be on my channel. So if you feel like you need to watch the replay, it's public, so you can come back and watch it. If you feel like you need to forward it to somebody, I'm going to put it on live now, so you can forward the link to anybody that you think needs to know it. Just let's help everybody be educated when it comes to the topic of sex as Christian African girls. On that note, I'm going to say I love you, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye. So we're about to end this.